Okay, if you're watching this video now, it means you either have an oil leak or you're trying to prevent an oil leak on your Mazda 3, Mazda 5, or Mazda 6, or Mazda CX-7. The leak happens at this component here. It's called an oil cooler, and as the name implies, it cools the oil, in case you didn't know. But this is it. Two coolant hoses go in. One goes right there and another there. The part that leaks is this seal here. Now that's not the factory seal. The factory seal is right here. And if you look closely, you can see that it's broken here. It's also broken right there. In addition to that, it's rather flat, where when it was new, it used to have a bulge. The seal part is the kind of beige color. It's on both sides, and it's flattened. When it's new, it was kind of raised like any seal. Over time, it heats and flattens and cracks like this. You'll get a leak from the top of between the oil cooler and the adapter for the oil filter. It'll run down the oil filter and spray on the exhaust, and you may smell oil when you drive the car. If it goes too long, then of course you run out of oil. So this is why it fails. And there. So what would you do to fix it? There's an aftermarket seal, and this is what you're looking at here, available on eBay. But I don't recommend this, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But this is the aftermarket seal. It looks the same as the one you just saw, except it's blue. And as you can see, it's a composite material. It's raised nice and good. Okay, nice height. But it's cheap, so it's not recommended. The reason why you can't just replace this seal is because of what it's trying to seal, which is this crappy component right here. The oil cooler itself, if you notice, and we zoom in over here, really close, we can find a clue here. I know you can read upside down, but that says FOMOCO, which is a cutesy way of saying Ford Motor Company. So in essence, you have a crappy Ford part in your Mazda vehicle. Let's not even get into discussing country of origin. But if you have any intelligence, you know that you don't want a genuine Ford part in your genuine Mazda vehicle. Of course, Mazda and Ford have had a sort of girlfriend-on-girlfriend relationship since the 80s, and they kind of trade parts and trade names, and they play this game back and forth with each other in whatever sweetheart deal they got into way back then. That's their business, not mine. The point is that you gotta now, you know how you check your dog for fleas if it goes outside? You gotta check your Mazda these days for Ford fleas. when you go around trying to make it reliable. You got to go through your car and see what Ford sneaky Ford junk is inside. And in the case of the Mazda 3, 5, 6, and CX-7, it's this black oil cooler. Now, how do you fix the leak? Don't go get this seal. It won't work. Well, it could work, but it's not the right way. But really, don't be tempted to only pay, what's this, 20 bucks, 12 bucks on eBay. Dorman is not a name brand, company for a seal. That's just keeping it real. So you don't want to go out and get the eBay version, which is this blue seal here, or the Dorman version, same thing. Okay, the plastic for one that this mounts on is made out of cheap ABS. This plastic on the original seal is kind of a nylon composite, very hard. This is regular old plumbing ABS, and you can literally snap it in half, and you know, it cracks very easily. It's not OEM quality. It is aftermarket quality, and it is made out of ABS, the same type of stuff that your plumbing pipes are made out of, which cost a penny to make, or less than a penny. Junk, okay? So this is hit or miss, but I wouldn't recommend it. Anyway, the proper fix for this is to replace it with the updated oil seal. Now, what's the updated oil seal? Well, it looks like this, and it is made in Japan. It's an actual Mazda part. Hence, it's not a Ford part. It's an actual Japanese oil cooler, which belongs in your Japanese car. Your Mazda oil cooler goes in your Mazda car. So you want to do this oil cooler you see here. It's silver, as you can see. The bolt is designed differently. It holds better. There's more copper in it. The old Ford one, the black one that you just saw, that's magnetic, has less copper in it. The new one's not magnetic, has way more copper in it. You can tell right off the bat the quality is superior. In addition to that, the seal itself is good old-fashioned rubber O-ring type material that's been used since forever. Everybody knows that a rubber O-ring is the way to go. Lasts a very long time, and it seals perfectly. So in replacing the old black oil cooler, the Ford one with the new Mazda, I've not experienced any leaks. This is why all dealers will refuse to replace only the seal on the old Ford oil cooler, because there's a clandestine technical service bulletin that says you have to replace it with the Japanese Mazda genuine oil cooler because the Ford one is junk. You can't just replace the seal, the whole oil cooler's got to go. You find them on eBay, Amazon, whatever. They come down in price, $200, maybe a little bit cheaper, $1.75. Just make sure it's genuine Mazda part. Make sure you get the bolt. The gasket should come with it. Put it back on. Then your car will look like it's 100% Japanese and not hybrid or crossbreed or mulatto Japanese, white people, Japanese people, mixture, American, Japanese, whatever you want to call it. I'm playing, but you get what I'm saying. Make it 100% Japanese the way it's supposed to be. That's why you buy Asian cars, so you can have Asian reliability. Okay? Not to get all racial with everybody. You know, it's all good. Black, white, Asian, whatever your thing is, Mexican, it's all good. But, hey, we like Asian vehicles, and so does the world. So let's keep it Asian. Okay? So, get the new Mazda oil cooler. Put that in. You won't have any problems. Don't be tempted to take the shortcut route and get either of, well, you would be getting this blue seal here. It still has also the potential to leak out of the center hole where the bolt goes. So be careful there if you get the blue seal. You know, maybe you'll win, but I'm telling you, don't risk it, because the problem is not the gasket. Note how Mazda didn't just replace the gasket. They replaced the whole dang Fomoco Ford oil cooler, and these things were probably left over from 1982 Ford Mustangs. You know, they just got them warehouse somewhere, because that's how they roll. So anyway, get rid of that. Get the updated Japanese Mazda genuine part and move on. That's what the dealer does. That's what you should do, because your car is worth it. You got oil and water running through this, and you don't want to have any issues with oil leaks for obvious reason, or coolant leaks for obvious reason. So in my opinion, it's worth it. Now, to change it, not hard at all. You're going to have to get under there. You're going to have to be mechanical. I'm not going to go into that. It's, you know, you can, if you're watching this, you know how to do it, and it's not an issue. So go out there and love yourself, and don't be cheap. Love yourself, and keep your Asian vehicle Asian. Keep it real.